Hi everyone. I normally do not do any type of technology videos, but I just had a major headache and I want to be able to prevent this from happening to anyone else. So, this video is completely about if you are someone that's not tech savvy, how to add a new SIM card when you go to a new country. I'm talking about going and buying one of these little $10 starter packs or, something in the airport. And normally you pop it in your phone and hooray! But then you notice that it's not working, it won't register, you have to get a data plan. And then what about if you're on iPhone and you want to be able to receive iMessage from different devices because people may not know you're in a different country. So this is a little bit of woosah, but this is how to solve that problem. This is something that took me 4 hours and a couple of days of just like letting it go and breathing, even giving up at one point to be like, okay, let's get started. So again, this was like a $10 starter pack. I traveled from the United States to Australia. So I have a US phone number, a US like Apple ID, and then on top of that, now I have an Australian phone number. So I was struggling because Wi-Fi in Australia is not nearly as public and accessible as it is in the United States. So I was really having issues getting place to place. I'm someone that's geographically pretty smart, so I was like following a lot of road signs via maps, but I couldn't talk to anybody if I did get lost unless I found a business that did have Wi-Fi. And it turns out that here it's super expensive for businesses to get Wi-Fi, so a majority of them just don't have it. But that's my 2 cents for the moment. I'm going to actually teach you using my iPhone 13 Pro. And then also, I normally have T-Mobile. And then this Australian company is Amazon, Amaysin. So I'm going to show this right here. Clearly, you can see I just covered up the SIM, but I've also taken out the SIM card here. So this is what you're going to do. First and foremost, make sure that you do have a Wi-Fi connection, but then turn off your iPhone. This was the first mistake I made, was thinking that my iPhone needed to be on when I switched out the cards, and it doesn't work that way. So first and foremost, turn off your iPhone after you put yourself on a Wi-Fi connection. Then enter in the SIM card that you have, like the little physical card that you have, into your phone. You can do that by popping it out. Honestly, you can use the back of an earring and it will like pop out from the side of the phone. Good to go. Awesome. So next, what you're going to do is actually take the phone, put it back on, connect it to Wi-Fi. In this particular case, I had to download the app for this company. But whenever I was still stuck on my old cellular plan, it was having issues downloading that app. But when you are connected just to Wi-Fi on your iPhone, it will download the app. From there, I had to have an actual data plan purchased with this. So I completed the data plan, filled out all the information, entered in my card. Okay, now I have a data plan and a physical SIM card. Perfect. One thing I do want to mention is your other SIM card, make sure you put it somewhere safe. Like, it's a little bitty tiny thing, and you're going to need that when you go back to the United States. So you'll actually need it here by the end of the video. Spoiler alert. But you're going to make sure that that does not get lost. Super important. Okay, back to step 3. Now you have a data plan and a SIM card and your original SIM card. With this, you're going to go into your settings because you're going to need to access your cellular plan. Your cellular plan should match your new Australian phone number. Okay? This is a physical SIM card being registered cellular. If you are finding that it's not popping up and that you don't have service, you need to restart your phone, or you need to remember how I said that it needed to be turned off before you switched out the SIM cards. For some reason, it doesn't register it and it gets confused. That is why you're not seeing your cellular data plan with your new card. Okay. From there, you may be like me and thinking, what about if somebody wants to message me on iMessage or FaceTime from my old phone number? I had to talk to Apple about this, and they said there was only one of two ways to make this happen, because traditionally you can't have two phone numbers and an email address on your Apple ID unless you do one of these two things. Okay. First thing is to go and get a dual SIM card. But if you went and purchased one of these little starter packs, they're not dual SIM cards. These are one phone number, one SIM. And you don't want to necessarily want to go make another purchase. If you just have that type of money, power to you. But I like to think a little bit more strategically and get things done. However, creatively, I can. Here's the other method. You will contact whatever Australian, like this little starter pack type of thing that you got through their chat messages, because there is something called an eSIM. Your eSIM will take about 2 hours to convert, but if you ask customer service to convert that for you, you'll be good to go. So from here, now we are on step 4. You have a physical SIM card. You have an additional physical SIM card, your US number, your Australian number, for example. And now you have actually converted one of those, the Australian one, to an eSIM. This eSIM can actually be put into your cellular plan as an option and be selected to be turned on as the default. The default of the country that you are in is the one that you need to have for your phone number. This is important because if you don't use it as the default, you're going to rack up your bill in your home country and you're going to be very upset because you also purchased this and you aren't actually using it. From here, what you can do, since it's now an eSIM, is you turn off your phone again. Okay? So your phone is off. This is important. Take out the eSIM or the Australian SIM card from your phone. Okay? When you do that, put back in your United States, or in my case, my T-Mobile SIM card, into your phone. Turn it back on. Step, whatever, 5 or 6, maybe 6 at this point. Turn your phone back on and go back to your settings. Your settings will now show your original phone number, your United States phone number, as a physical SIM, and your new Australian phone number as an eSIM. Great, right? Not quite yet. We got a couple things to do here. What you need to do is to go into 2 different settings on your phone. The first setting is FaceTime. On FaceTime, you need to turn it off for 10 seconds. Then when you turn it back on, you will see those little bitty circles that go, I think it's called a model or whatnot, and they will turn into checks, into beautiful blue checks. You will have 3 checks if you have 2 phone numbers and 1 email address. That is like success, right? Perfect. So now you have to go and do that same step for iMessage. iMessage, turn it off for 10 seconds, turn it back on, and you will receive 3 checks. The first one for the old phone number, the new phone number, and the email address. I feel like I'm mansplaining, but this is important because I don't want to waste your life in 4 hours when I can teach you in 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Woosa. Couple of things that are going to be important. First and foremost, when you go and, or I guess question 1, I'll say, is when you go and get the eSIM from the company, they're either going to give you a QR code that you will upload into your iPhone, or they will send you a link. That's going to be important because when you go to add a new cellular plan via eSIM in your settings, it's going to ask for that QR code. What I actually did was screenshot it, and then I took a picture of it from somebody else's phone. That's how I was able to upload it. You may be able to come up with a different way, but that to me was just super simple, and I just took care of it that way. All right. Step 2, or question 2, are you stressed out? Absolutely. This was very stressful. I'm trying to think, was there anything else that was super important here? Defaults. Ooh, here we go. Unless you want to rack up your plan again, when you go into cellular as your option and you're picking your line, always choose the line of the country that you're in. But under that, it will have the other line and then it will say switch between the two. Turn that off. You do not want the phone deciding what plan it's going to use when, because if you, again, are in a place where one of your phone numbers doesn't have service, it may be charging the actual US card. That will rack up your bill again. Don't do that, right? We're saving money here. That's the whole purpose of having this. Ooh, that is the complete story. That is all of it in like less than 12 minutes. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm here for you because nobody should go through this anxiety.